Are you leaving thousands of dollars in critical support on the table simply because you don't know where to look? Every single disabled veteran watching this needs to understand one undeniable truth. The benefit system is designed to be complex, and the VA rarely advertises the entitlements that could fundamentally change your quality of life. We all know about the standard monthly compensation check and the basic health care, but those are just the starting blocks. The VA has just quietly highlighted 7 specific, often overlooked benefits, deeply buried in the regulations that most disabled veterans never claim. If you have a service-connected disability, or if you are rated at 30% or higher, you need to pay attention right now, because skipping these could cost you financial security, educational opportunities for your kids, and essential home modifications. We're diving deep into the entitlements that VA reps often forget to mention, starting with a crucial annual payment that many veterans qualify for but never receive, simply because they don't fill out one specific form. The first benefit we need to talk about, the one that veterans often discover years too late, is the Annual Special Clothing Allowance. Now, this might sound minor, but for thousands of veterans, this is an essential yearly entitlement that covers real, recurring costs associated with their service-connected conditions. Think about it. If your disability requires you to use prosthetic limbs, orthopedic braces, mobility devices, or if you use topical medications that stain or damage your clothing, you're incurring costs that the average person is not. The VA recognizes this burden, and they offer a tax-free annual allowance specifically to offset the expense of replacing clothing damaged by these appliances or treatments. This isn't just a small token. Depending on the year and the current rate, this allowance can be substantial, and it's a yearly payment you deserve. To qualify, you must have a service-connected disability that requires you to wear a prosthetic or orthopedic appliance, like a back brace, knee brace, or artificial limb, which tears or damages your clothing, or you must be required to use a specific type of medication that is damaging to your outer garments. The key here is the annual nature of the claim. Once approved, you typically need to submit a form, the VA Form 108678, each year, usually between August 1st and August 31st, to renew the entitlement. The failure to submit this simple form during that narrow window is the single biggest reason why veterans miss out on this recurring financial support. This is money set aside specifically to maintain your dignity and comfort, ensuring that you don't have to choose between necessary medical appliances and having presentable clothing. We are talking about veterans who need specialized shoes due to foot injuries, or those who rely on external devices that wear holes in their shirts and trousers within weeks. The costs add up rapidly over a year, and this allowance is designed to mitigate that constant financial drain. It's critical to understand the scope of what qualifies. It's not just the major prosthetics. Even smaller, consistently used orthopedic supports, if they cause wear and tear on your wardrobe, can qualify you for this yearly benefit. Furthermore, if you have a condition requiring ointments or creams that permanently stain your clothing, making them unwearable in public, that also falls under the scope of this entitlement. The VA's internal guidance emphasizes that this is about maintaining a standard of living that isn't negatively impacted by the necessary management of your service-connected condition. Don't wait for your VA primary care physician to mention it. They often won't. You need to be proactive. Research the current year's payment rate. Download that specific form, 108678, and mark your calendar for the August submission window. Missing this specific narrow filing period means you forfeit the entire year's allowance. This is a benefit that directly addresses the tangible, daily cost of being disabled, and it's a fundamental entitlement that should be part of every disabled veteran's financial plan. The sheer volume of veterans who are eligible but fail to claim this yearly stipend is staggering, highlighting the oversight in the general education provided by the VA system itself. We are talking about consistent financial relief that compounds over decades of disability, potentially amounting to tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime, simply for wearing the necessary equipment prescribed to manage your injuries. Make sure you are not one of the veterans who lets this straightforward, recurring entitlement lapse year after year. Moving now to a benefit that is far more complex, potentially life-changing in its financial impact, yet is arguably the most misunderstood and underclaimed entitlement in the entire VA system. Special Monthly Compensation, or SMC. If your current monthly disability check doesn't feel like enough, SMC is the mechanism designed to provide significantly increased compensation for specific severe disabilities or combinations of disabilities. This isn't just a bump in your rating, it's an entirely separate compensation schedule that recognizes the profound loss of quality of life, independence, and earning capacity resulting from catastrophic service-connected conditions. SMC is not automatically granted when you reach a 100% rating. In fact, many veterans rated 100% P&T, permanent and total, are missing out on SMC because their specific combination of injuries meets the criteria for higher pay grades, often referred to as SMCK, SMCS, SMCL, and so on, all the way up to the highest levels, like SMCR2. The complexity of SMC is why it's overlooked. It requires a deep understanding of the regulatory code, specifically 38 CFR Part 3.350, which details the specific anatomical losses, functional losses, or combinations of conditions that trigger the increased payment. For example, SMC is triggered if you have the loss of use of a limb, blindness in one or both eyes, deafness combined with another major disability, or if you are housebound and require regular aid and attendance from another person. The financial difference between a standard 100% rating and a high level of SMC can be thousands of dollars per month, a difference that translates directly into the ability to afford specialized care, in-home assistance, or better overall financial stability. One common scenario where SMC is missed is the loss of use designation. A veteran may still have their arm or leg, but if the functional loss is so severe that the limb is essentially useless for employment or daily activities, the VA should grant SMC as if the limb were actually amputated. This is a nuanced distinction that veterans and even some VA adjudicators frequently miss. Another crucial SMC category is the housebound designation, known as SMCS. If you have a single service-connected disability rated at 100%, and you are also permanently and substantially confined to your home, or to the immediate premises due to another service-connected disability, you qualify for SMCS. This is a critical point. The confinement must be due to a second service-connected condition, even if that second condition is rated low, or even if it's already encompassed within the 100% rating, provided it causes the housebound status. The regulations surrounding SMC are intricate, almost like navigating a maze, but the payoff is immense. We are talking about the difference between financial struggle and true financial independence for those who are most severely injured. If you have multiple severe disabilities, if you have lost the use of a major extremity, or if you require daily assistance for personal care, you must have your claim reviewed specifically for SMC eligibility. This often requires submitting a separate claim, or at the very least, explicitly asking the VA to consider SMC eligibility during your rating process. Do not assume the VA automatically checks this box. They rely on the evidence provided, and often the initial claim documentation doesn't fully articulate the catastrophic nature of the combined disabilities in a way that triggers the SMC review. This compensation is fundamental to recognizing the immense sacrifice and the increased daily burden carried by veterans with the most severe service-connected injuries. It's an entitlement that provides dignity and essential resources, and every severely disabled veteran must ensure they are receiving the highest SMC rate they qualify for. The detailed analysis of SMC eligibility is often the difference between a life of constant financial worry and one where specialized medical care and necessary assistance are readily available. This benefit is the pinnacle of compensation for catastrophic injuries, and its absence in a veteran's benefits package is a major financial oversight that needs immediate correction. The sheer number of regulatory paragraphs dedicated to SMC demonstrates its importance, yet this complexity often becomes the barrier to entry for the deserving veteran. The third overlooked benefit shifts focus away from the veteran's direct payment and addresses one of the greatest long-term financial burdens faced by families: the cost of higher education. This is the Dependent Dependence Educational Assistance, DEA program, often called Chapter 35 benefits. If you are a veteran with a permanent and total service-connected disability, meaning you are rated 100% P&T, your spouse and dependent children are entitled to receive significant financial assistance for education and training. This is a massive, tax-free educational benefit that can cover tuition, fees, books, and living expenses for college, vocational training, or even apprenticeship programs. The true tragedy is the number of veterans who are 100% P&T and have children graduating high school right now, struggling to afford college, completely unaware that the VA provides this full entitlement. This benefit is not deducted from your monthly compensation, nor does it affect your existing disability rating. It is a separate entitlement earned through your service and sacrifice. For dependent children, the entitlement typically starts once they turn 18 or finish high school, and it usually lasts until they reach age 26. For spouses, the rules are slightly different, often having a time limit, usually 10 years from the date the VA determined the veteran was eligible for the benefit, or 20 years if the veteran was rated P&T while on active duty. The financial implications of Chapter 35 cannot be overstated. We are talking about the potential for 4 years of full-time institutional education being covered, providing a massive head start for your children or allowing your spouse to pursue a career change or advanced degree. This benefit is a direct investment in the future of the veteran's family, compensating them for the instability and sacrifices made during the veteran's service and subsequent disability. The process requires the dependent, the child or spouse, to apply directly to the VA for the benefit, referencing the veteran's status. The veteran does not need to be involved in the application beyond verifying their P&T status. The oversight here is purely informational. Many veterans assume that once they receive their rating, the process stops there, failing to communicate this extraordinary educational opportunity to their families. This is a generational benefit, designed to ensure that the children of severely disabled veterans have access to the same opportunities as their peers, regardless of the veteran's ability to work or contribute financially. Ensure you sit down with your family, explain the existence of Chapter 35, and guide them through the application process using VA Form 22-5490. This benefit represents economic mobility and long-term security for your dependents, a legacy earned through your service. The sheer cost of higher education in the modern era makes this benefit one of the most financially impactful entitlements available, often valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars over the duration of the educational pursuit for multiple dependents. Furthermore, the flexibility of Chapter 35 means it can be used for various types of training, not just traditional 4-year degrees, including technical schools, certification, programs, and correspondence courses, broadening the accessibility and utility of the benefit immensely. Every 100% P&T veteran must view the DEA program not as an optional extra, but as a mandatory component of their family's financial planning and educational strategy. The fourth benefit requires looking beyond the federal VA system and understanding how your VA rating unlocks significant financial relief at the state and local levels. This is the complex web of ABO state-level property tax exemptions. While the VA itself is a federal agency, the disability rating it assigns you, particularly a high rating, is the key that unlocks major property tax reductions or complete exemptions in most states across the country. This benefit is frequently overlooked because it must be claimed locally, usually through the county assessor's office or the State Department of Revenue, not through the VA itself. The eligibility requirements vary dramatically from state to state, which adds to the confusion. However, generally, veterans rated 100% P&T qualify for the most substantial relief, often resulting in a 100% exemption from property taxes on their primary residence. Imagine eliminating your largest recurring housing expense. The savings are enormous, potentially thousands of dollars annually, year after year. Even veterans rated below 100% P&T may qualify for partial exemptions in many states. For instance, some states offer scaled exemptions for veterans rated 70% or higher. The critical step is understanding your state-specific legislation. You cannot wait for the county assessor to inform you. You must proactively research the specific forms and documentation required, which usually involves providing a copy of your VA rating decision letter, the official notification, showing your P&T status. The failure to claim this benefit is almost always due to the veteran assuming their local government knows their VA status, which they do not. This requires a physical trip or a detailed application to the local tax authority. The financial impact of property tax exemption is perpetual. It's an annuity of savings that lasts as long as you own your home. If you are rated 100% P&T and paying property taxes, you are essentially forfeiting thousands of dollars every year that should be remaining in your pocket. This benefit stabilizes housing costs, making homeownership accessible and sustainable for severely disabled veterans, particularly those living on a fixed income. The difference this makes in monthly cash flow is transformative. It allows veterans to allocate those funds toward health care, savings, or necessary daily expenses. Do not delay this research. Look up your state's specific laws regarding disabled veteran property tax relief today. Gather your VA rating documentation and submit the required application to your local jurisdiction immediately. This is not a federal benefit, but your federal status is the prerequisite, and claiming it is entirely your responsibility at the local level. The nuances of state laws can be tricky, sometimes requiring residency for a specific period or placing limits on the assessed value of the home, but the effort required to navigate these local rules is minimal compared to the lifelong financial relief provided. This is a crucial area where the VA system interfaces with local government, and the veteran must act as the bridge between the two systems to realize this massive financial entitlement. The compounding savings from property tax exemption over a 30-year mortgage can easily surpass the total amount of many other smaller benefits combined, making it a cornerstone of long-term veteran financial security. The fifth benefit delves into the realm of specialized, high-level care and financial support for the most vulnerable veterans. Aid and attendance, A&A, and housebound benefits. We touched on housebound earlier in the context of SMCS, but A&A is a separate, higher-tier benefit often missed by veterans who are already receiving compensation but whose health has deteriorated significantly. A&A is an increased monthly pension amount paid to veterans who need the regular aid of another person to perform daily functions, such as bathing, feeding, dressing, or taking care of personal hygiene. This benefit is designed to help offset the massive costs associated with in-home care or assisted living facilities. The key distinction is the level of dependence. If a veteran needs assistance on a consistent daily basis, or if they are bedridden, blind, or residing in a nursing home due to their mental or physical incapacity, they may qualify for A&A. It's important to note that A&A can be added to both the standard VA disability compensation for service-connected disabilities and the VA pension for non-service-connected disabilities subject to income limits. The complexity arises because the application requires detailed medical evidence and often a doctor's statement specifically detailing the need for assistance. Veterans often assume that their high rating already covers their care needs, but ANA is a special designation that requires specific application and medical documentation demonstrating the level of dependency. The financial increase provided by ANA is substantial, often adding hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the monthly payment, directly addressing the crushing financial burden of long-term care. If you are paying for a home health aide, or if a family member has had to quit their job to provide constant care, ANA is the VA's way of acknowledging and subsidizing that immense need. Furthermore, the housebound benefit, while slightly lower than ANA, is for veterans who are substantially confined to their immediate premises due to their disability. The difference between ANA and housebound often hinges on whether the veteran needs active assistance, ANA, or merely confinement, housebound. If a veteran is currently paying out-of-pocket for any form of specialized assistance or care, they must immediately explore ANA eligibility. The application process requires meticulous detail regarding the veteran's daily routine and the specific tasks they cannot perform without help. Gathering comprehensive medical evidence, including statements from geriatric specialists or home health providers, is crucial for a successful ANA claim. This benefit is a lifeline for veterans and their caregivers, providing essential financial support that ensures the veteran can receive dignified and necessary care without completely bankrupting the family. The sheer cost of long-term care means that accessing ANA is not just a benefit. It is often a necessity for maintaining financial solvency during the final years of life or during periods of severe health decline. The VA recognizes that the costs associated with severe dependence exceed standard compensation, and ANA is the regulatory solution to bridge that gap. We must emphasize that this benefit is often overlooked because it requires a significant amount of detailed medical evidence and coordination with healthcare providers, tasks that can be overwhelming for veterans already dealing with severe health issues. However, the financial relief it provides makes the administrative hurdle absolutely necessary to overcome. Our sixth overlooked benefit addresses a critical area of life planning that many veterans neglect: life insurance. Specifically, we are talking about VA life insurance programs, particularly Service-Disabled Veterans Insurance, SDVI, and Veterans Group Life Insurance, VGLI. While many veterans receive basic coverage during their service, once they separate, they often fail to transition to the specialized guaranteed issue programs available specifically to disabled veterans. SDVI is the most important program here. If you were separated from service on or after April 25, 1951, under conditions other than dishonorable, and you received a service-connected disability rating from the VA, you are eligible to apply for SDVI. The critical deadline is this: you must apply within 2 years from the date the VA grants your new service-connected rating. Miss that 2-year window, and you forfeit the ability to enroll in this specific, highly valuable program. SDVI offers up to $10,000 in coverage, which may seem modest, but the immense value lies in the fact that it is guaranteed issue. This means you cannot be denied coverage due to your service-connected disability or any other health condition, even if you are considered high risk by commercial insurers. Furthermore, if you are totally disabled, unable to work, and under age 65, you can apply for a waiver of the premiums on your SDVI policy. Beyond the basic coverage, veterans who are eligible for SDVI may also be eligible for supplemental coverage, known as supplemental SDVI, up to an additional $30,000. This is a massive safety net, often providing coverage when commercial options are prohibitively expensive or unavailable due to the veteran's health status. VGLI, on the other hand, is a conversion of the SGLI, Service Members Group Life Insurance, you held while active. While not guaranteed issue in the same way, VGLI allows you to maintain coverage after separation, regardless of health, provided you apply within certain time limits, usually 1 year and 120 days after separation. The overlooked aspect is often the timing and the automatic premium waiver for SDVI. Veterans often assume they cannot get affordable insurance because of their disabilities, failing to realize the VA provides these specific protected programs. Life insurance is a foundational component of financial security for the veteran's family, ensuring that final expenses are covered and providing a financial cushion during a time of grief. Every disabled veteran should review their life insurance portfolio and confirm they have maximized their enrollment in these VA-sponsored health condition protected plans. Missing the 2-year enrollment deadline for SDVI is a permanent loss of a crucial benefit. This is a benefit that provides peace of mind, knowing that your family will be protected, regardless of the severity of your service-connected conditions. The guaranteed acceptance and the potential for premium waivers make these VA insurance programs fundamentally different and superior to nearly any commercial offering for disabled individuals. The administrative complexity of transitioning from SGLI to VGLI or applying for SDVI often causes veterans to delay action until the deadlines have passed, which is a catastrophic financial planning mistake. This is about securing the financial future of your loved ones, a PI responsibility that should be addressed immediately upon receiving your disability rating. The seventh and final overlooked benefit is perhaps the most specialized and financially intensive, designed for veterans with the most severe mobility impairments. The Specially Adapted Housing (SAH) grant and the Special Home Adaptation (SHA) grant. These are not loans. They are tax-free grants provided by the VA to help severely disabled veterans purchase, build, or modify a home to accommodate their service-connected disabilities. We are talking about grants that can reach well over $100,000 as the exact maximum changes annually, dedicated solely to making a home accessible. The SAH grant is for veterans with specific catastrophic injuries, typically those who have lost the use of both lower extremities, requiring the use of a wheelchair or canes, or blindness combined with the loss of use of an extremity. The SHA grant is for veterans with less severe but still significant mobility impairments, such as the loss of use of one lower extremity or severe burn injuries. The reason these grants are overlooked is that the eligibility criteria are very strict, leading many veterans to assume they won't qualify. However, for those who do meet the criteria, these grants are absolutely transformative, allowing veterans to live independently and safely in their own homes. The financial impact of adapting a home, installing ramps, widening doorways, lowering counters, creating accessible bathrooms, is astronomical, and these grants cover the vast majority, if not all, of those costs. The key is to understand that the grants can be used multiple times, up to the maximum lifetime amount, and can be applied to both homes the veteran owns and, in some cases, even to a family member's home where the veteran resides. The application process requires detailed documentation of the disability and often a visit from a VA official to assess the proposed adaptations. The goal is to ensure the veteran's living environment does not exacerbate their disability or compromise their independence. If a veteran is struggling to navigate their current home due to their service-connected mobility issues, they must investigate the SAH-SHA grants immediately. This benefit is a direct investment in the veteran's independence and long-term health, drastically reducing the need for institutional care by making daily life manageable at home. These grants are a testament to the VA's commitment to supporting the most severely injured, providing the financial means to literally rebuild their living environment around their needs. The sheer complexity and the high monetary value of these grants mean that veterans often need assistance from VSOs, Veteran Service Organizations, or specialized attorneys to navigate the application and construction oversight process. But the outcome, a fully accessible, safe, and comfortable home, is worth every ounce of effort. This is the ultimate adaptation benefit, ensuring that the physical environment supports, rather than hinders, the recovery and daily life of the severely disabled veteran. The difference between living in a restrictive, dangerous home and a fully adapted dwelling impacts everything from mental health to physical recovery, making this grant a foundational element of recovery and sustained well-being. So, let's quickly recap these 7 overlooked pillars of veteran entitlement that the VA rarely puts front and center. First, the PAC D Annual Special Clothing Allowance. A yearly cash payment for those whose gear or medication damages their clothes, a simple form, a critical August deadline. Second, Special Monthly Compensation, SMC. The highest financial tier of compensation for catastrophic injuries or complex combinations of disabilities. Check your eligibility. Don't settle for just 100%. Third, Dependents Educational Assistance, Chapter 35. Providing tax-free college funds for the children and spouses of 100% P&T veterans, a generational benefit you must communicate to your family. Fourth, State-level property tax exemptions. Utilizing your VA rating to eliminate or drastically reduce your largest housing expense. Research your local county assessor's rules now. Fifth, Aid in attendance, ANA, and housebound benefits. Significant financial increases for veterans requiring daily assistance or confinement due to the severity of their condition, critical for offsetting long-term care costs. Sixth, VA Life Insurance, SDVI, VGLI. Guaranteed issue life insurance coverage for disabled veterans, often with premium waivers. Don't miss the 2-year application deadline after your rating. And finally, the Specially Adapted Housing, SAH-SHA. Grants. Providing massive tax-free funds to modify your home for severe mobility impairments, the ultimate step toward true home independence. The core message here is one of vigilance and proactivity. The VA system is vast, complex, and often relies on the veteran to explicitly ask for what they are entitled to. These benefits are not handed out automatically. They are earned through sacrifice, but they require a specific claim, a specific form, or a specific deadline to be met. You have served, you have sacrificed, and these entitlements are non-negotiable components of the promise made to you. Don't let complexity or lack of information rob you of the financial security, educational opportunities, and dignity you deserve. Take action today. Research these 7 benefits and ensure you are maximizing every single resource available to you and your family. Your quality of life depends on it. Now, go secure what is rightfully yours.